Hi and welcome back to part 8 of a real-time video, how to paint a hare in pastel. This is part 8 and on this I'm going to be concentrating on the other side of the ear, which is the right side. I am going to be using a Carbothello just to get started. I shall go in with the pencil and work on the darker areas of the ear. As I said, this is part 8. If you want to go back and see how the hair has come together, just go back to part 1 where I start with the eye, and then in each video I then work on different sections. So as I say, this is the ear, the very last ear, and hopefully, if not this video, the next video will show the end and how it has all come together. So now I'm using a Caran d'Ache, and as you can see, it is a very well used pencil. So I'm just going in onto the side of the ear, which is lighter. In my pastels, in my pastel work, I use mainly 3 pastel pencils. I use Caran d'Ache, I use Fabre Castell Pitts, and I use Carbothellos. There are a few others that I use, but really not very often. I use the Derwents, and I also on occasion would use the Rowneys. So I'm just going back over again with it's more like a grey than a black, I would say. And I'm going down with the darker bits that then lead to the top of the head. As always, checking my reference photo just to see where everything is, going with the flow of the fur. I'm not going to really talk very much on this video, just let the music play. Any other bits of information that I feel I can give, I will, but as you can see, I don't really need to talk much, you just need to watch and see what I'm doing and how it all comes together. Just going in and finding the darkers, where the darker sections are. Now I'm using a Carbothello 1400620. I used that one before on the other side of the ear, between the cream colour and the black. All the colours that are in the head of the fur are in the ears of the hare. Going back in again with the cream. Now I have a block and I am just going to go in and make this a little bit darker. I felt that, as the same with the other ear, that the pencil wasn't dark enough and I wasn't getting as much coverage that I needed. Now I can't remember what block this is, as it was just in my pastel drawer. But the main blocks and softer pastels that I would use would be Unisons or the Jackson Art, their own brand. They're also very good. But using sticks tend to make your fingers, they're more messier. That's why I don't have very clean nails on some videos. Pastel can be a very messy medium. Now what I'm doing is going in with a paper blender by Derwent. Trying to blend that all in and pushing it into the tooth of the pastel mat. That is the paper that I'm using at the moment. I used to use velour paper and did so for years, never really wanted to use anything else. And then one day somebody bought me a pastel mat pad, and I just started to use it and realised that I could get the same sort of effect in realism with pastel mat that I could with velour. I think maybe on the next real time videos I will do a velour, maybe do a tiger. They're one of my favourite subjects, mostly all of the big cats. That's what I'm mostly known for, would be my wildlife art, mainly the big cats. Although of late I have started to do like little whimsical art, like bumblebees and cows and such, where they're more of a rough, not as real. I actually started out wanting to do the bumblebees and make the pastel look more of an oil painting effect, and then realised that I just love doing them, so I've done quite a few of those. So I'm now going in with the Pitt pastel pencil in black, going over the grey area, the cream area, sorry, and then going in with another Carbothello. Talking about tigers, this is one of the main colours that I would use in my tiger paintings. So just going over the black again, trying to mark in where the hairs, the little hairs in the ears would be. And on the side where the black with the cream, going over that. Sometimes when you're going over the darker colours, they'll sometimes get onto the point of the pencil. So I just wipe that on a piece of tissue or a trouser leg. Just using strokes of where the fur goes. Holding the pencil quite loosely. All the time looking at the reference photo to see which colour is then needed to go. So with this one I'm just going to go over again just to push that colour into each other, the two colours. So I've kept these videos to around 30 to 40 minutes, as listening to me is boring enough. But hopefully you're getting the picture of how it all comes together, and if you wanted to give it a go. Although this photo I got from, I think, Reference Photos for Artists, if I remember rightly. So I'm just stroking the hairs with the pencil. And there's only really one law or rule for painting fur, and that is always, you cannot say this enough, to go in the direction that the fur goes. Always go in the direction. If you don't go in the direction that the fur goes, it just looks silly. It doesn't look real. So going in again with the Carbothello, going over the edges, trying to blend the two colours together. Making it more more lifelike. Now I've started the top of the head, going in with the same colours that are at the top of the head. A hair has tones of ginger, there's a bit of red, reddy brown, black, dark brown, creams. And on the top of a hare's head, its fur seems to go in every direction. So you can't see the bit down there. But basically what I was doing was just going over a bit of the section that I had done before, just trying to bring the two sections together and going over the black that had been highlighted before. So then going over the black. Giving it a bit of depth. Using the black Carbothello. The other Carbothello was more of a Payne's grey. In the painting world. What would be the name of it? Now I'm going in with the Royal Sovereign blender. These are some of my favourite blenders, and I found out that if I use these, going back to the Bumblebee Whimsies, the way I used them, the way I held it and basically flicked it around the pastel paper, I could get like an effect that it had been painted by blending the pastels into each other. Sorry, what I was doing there was I didn't think the lighting was very good, so I turned on my daylight lamp, but it didn't really make much of a difference, so I just turned it off again. And so now I'm going back to trying to blend together all of the colours and stroking it to make it look more like fur. So I've gone in with a different size of blender. This is more of a fatter, although I think it did at one point have a tip, but they're that well used. So what you see me doing there is taking off the black off of the tip. You just rub it on a bit of paper that I have sitting beside the box that I use. I tape a small section onto a box and have it sitting on my table. Find it a lot easier than using an easel, and it just fits perfectly. So going in with a lighter colour on top of the darker colours. Because that section of the ear, the fur goes up and then it basically goes out to the right and then it goes out to the left as well. Going over again all of the sections, putting on a lighter tone. Just using the pencil to flick little bits of hair, little strands of hair, just to show which way the fur goes, and then just using the Naples yellow on the ear. So what I did there was go in with a lighter cream coloured Caran d'Ache and went over that section just to give it a bit of light. Then back in again with the Carbothello.
That spirit lives on.
Just pushing out the hairs, like the single strands of hair. Going back in again with the lighter colour. The same on that section of the ear, just to pull it out. Showing you the direction that all of the fur goes. Using the blender again. What I'm doing is just flicking, like I previously said, just flicking it as if you're actually just painting, and just blending it all together, but leaving some actual raw bit of the pencil is the only way I can explain it. So I'm just blending everything together. Just holding the blender upright and loosely. Going over with the lighter colours just to flick out the hairs. Give it more depth. Have little individual strands. Occasionally going in with a darker colour just to give it more depth. Then more blending. So basically that's it, just in with your pencils, in with the darks, on top with the lights, go back over with the darks. Blending. And I'm nearly coming to the end of this section. I don't want to overwork it, so I'm just basically going over with the lighter colours, trying to make the strands, single strands of hair, pop out. Going over where the lighter fur meets the dark fur. Then going in with the white. Just to give it that little pop factor. Make some of the hairs pop out. That's nearly always the last section you really need to do is the white. It's always my favourite part, you know, just when the white goes in you can see so much of a difference. Going over other bits, and you don't see I actually go over the eye again. So, as I say, we've nearly come to the end of this part of the hair. So if you want to see, as I previously said before, any other sections or how it's done, how the eye was done, if you just go back to number 1, you'll be able to see how the eye was created, how I then did the nose, and how I joined that all in together. I then did the left ear, then the right ear. Just going in again and blending this section. Just picking up more hairs, giving them more of a real look. Going in again lastly just to give that a bit of depth, as I said before. Then in again with the white just on the corner of the ears. Just pulling that hair. Making it look more like fur. Pulling the black into the white. And that's how you see all the different individual layers come together. So that is it for this section of the painting. That is the ear finished. On the next video I may work a bit more on that, but this is the finished product. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.